Hey, Katie, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Doing well.
Excellent. What's up?
Thanks for taking my call. I'm curious to get your thoughts on this.
All right.
So, start with my question, then we can get into the background.
Anytime somebody
kind of
says they're
overarching-
curious of my thoughts, that means it's going to be a doozy.
We'll see. All right. So the question is, when and how do I go about introducing my kids to my mother-in-law's new boyfriend? So, getting into the backstory, my father-in-law took his life last October.
Oh, man, I'm sorry. Jeez.
Thank you. It's been a really, really difficult year.
Yeah, what was his name?
Bill.
Bill. Man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. It's been a very difficult year for us, and our whole world has just completely flipped upside down, and it's been a process. I have a 4-year-old son and an almost 2-year-old son, and my mother-in-law started dating someone just before the year mark, which is difficult in and of itself. And now she's wanting us to meet him, but my husband and his siblings don't want to meet him. I don't necessarily want to introduce my kids to someone that will be in the picture for just a short time. I don't want them to get attached to someone when my 4-year-old is still grieving. He still brings up his grandpa all the time, talks about him. And so I don't know if the right thing is to introduce or just, I don't even know. How do you know when you're ready?
That's such a big question. Can I pull the threads apart here a little bit?
Please do.
Okay. Thread number one is this is your husband's dad, and in almost every way, I would follow his lead.
1,000%.
And so if he's not ready, if he doesn't want to meet boyfriend, then the family's not going to go meet boyfriend.
Well, can I add on to that real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So he has 4 siblings. He's one of 4, and all 4 have said to Mom, hey, I'm not ready. But 2 of the siblings have been at the house when she has brought boyfriend over without permission. So my husband and his sister have met him without consent.
Okay. So that's all you need to know about what Mom thinks about her kids. And also, by the way, Mom was hurting.
Yeah.
The whole thing's a mess. And so here's what I want to do. I don't want to be in other people's heads judging why they're doing what they're doing.
Yes.
My guess is your mother-in-law is trying so desperately, frenetically to get back to quote-unquote normal the way things were.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's trying to find some autonomy. 1,000%.
Just trying to lock it in. It's going to go back to the old ways. I'm going to be married. We're going to have a big, happy family, and then we can get all the grandkids back, and everything's going to be the way it was.
Yep.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's just part of the grieving process. Hopefully she doesn't run in and marry somebody.
Yeah.
Dating somebody's fine. You get some scars doing that, but you learn, right? And you can exhale.
For sure.
If you just go marry somebody, it creates a whole other issue. But yeah, she's struggling and just like, look, here he is. He's great. See? And not trying to vomit all over her kids, but she did, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the first thing is I would let your husband walk through that. My hope is one day he can be happy that Mom finds somebody new.
You know, that's the interesting thing is we kind of have the best of both worlds. He doesn't want her to be alone, and so he's glad that she's with someone. But on the other hand, he doesn't want to see it, doesn't want to talk about it, doesn't want to be part of it.
And so he gets to do that.
Yeah,
he gets to
1,000%.
do that. And at some point, Mom may say, hey, here's one of my boundaries. I'm married now. This is my new husband. This is my new life. I want you a part of it, but I can't just take my husband and carve him out. And so hopefully they can negotiate that and navigate those boundaries over time. It's just a messy season. It hasn't even been a year yet, right?
Yeah.
Here's the second thing. Tell me about you. Did you love this guy? Was he scary? Like, tell me about your relationship with him.
I love that man dearly. Yes, he was scary, but I loved him dearly. He's kind of a big, intimidating looking guy, but just the biggest teddy bear, kindest guy. Just the last couple of years of his life were really difficult, and no one really knew how bad he was struggling because he didn't open up about it.
Yeah.
And so it was very hard. He was another dad to me.
Yeah. So I think an important thing for you and your husband, and this is y'all the only people that you can manage in this moment, right? If you haven't already, both of you need to write him a letter and read it to each other. Dear Bill. And in that letter, usually there's like I often recommend people write 3 different letters. That might be a lot for you guys right now, but one of those, there has to be some sentiment about I miss you. I pick up the phone to call you and I miss you. And there has to be a sentiment, a discussion about how angry I am. I can't believe you did this to us.
Yeah.
And that's valid and it has to be expressed. And then the third thing that I always tell people is you have to write about what they're going to miss.
Oh.
Here's what you're going to miss. I'm going to be the most amazing wife to your son. You don't even know. You're going to miss the Little League games. You're going to miss prom pictures. My son's going to miss getting to wrestle with his gigantic, crazy, bear-looking granddad. All that.
Yeah.
You took that from us. And we're going to move on. And took that from, like, that language is abrupt and hard when somebody dies by suicide, right?
For sure.
We're not trying to tell facts here. We're trying to let this stuff cycle through our body.
Yeah.
And when you write a letter about, or you write a section of a letter about, so here's who I'm going to be. I will love your son till the end of time. And your husband might say something along the lines of, I will be the dad and the husband that you tried so hard to be and you were sick and you just couldn't be.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Okay? But what we're doing is we're giving our bodies an understanding that we are now turning our gaze not back anymore, but we're looking forward now.
Yeah.
Okay? And reading it together, as the great David Kessler says, grief demands a witness. It's important to write those letters, but you need to read them in front of somebody. And if he's really got gangster siblings, they all write a letter to dad and they all read them together. And they're gonna be different. My guess is with a dad like that, there's gonna be 4 kids all over the spectrum when it comes to who's degrees of wellness, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And degrees of how well they married, right? There's gonna be some.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what I would, because you need to grieve this. Your husband needs to grieve it. And since it was his dad, I always give him the 5149. Like, you make the call. Are we going to Christmas or not?
So that being said, I love all that and 1,000% will do that. That being said, my husband kind of thinks that the kids won't remember even if we introduce mom's boyfriend.
I would not introduce mom's boyfriend. Absolutely not.
Okay.
They're not ready for that.
Okay.
I would talk about, if it's still okay, Granddaddy got real sick and he died.
Yeah.
And we miss him so much. And whenever your kid brings up Granddad, it's okay. I think it's healthy for you to look at your son or your daughter and to drop your shoulders and say, I'm so sad he got very, very sick and that he died. I'm very sad. Mommy's very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And that way they don't feel crazy.
Yeah.
I miss Grandpa. Where is he? I miss him too.
Yeah.
And let them see almost an overexpressive, like demonstrative, let them see your shoulders like a big, let them see that in their mom and in their dad. And maybe bring them along and ask if they want to write a letter to Granddad.
Oh, that's heavy.
Or draw a picture for Granddad.
Yeah.
Because we don't want those kids to learn in our house, if there's a tragedy, we don't talk about it, we keep it quiet and we bury it.
1,000%.
You want to show them, I wrote a grown-up letter to Granddad. He's not going to be able to read it because he died, but I wanted some things I want to tell him. And when I get sad, this is how I do it. Will you draw him a picture?
Yeah.
And maybe he can see it from up in heaven, right? We're gonna use that kind of language.
Okay, for sure.
But we're teaching them life will hit us in the mouth 1,000 different times over the course of our life. And we don't hold it, and it's okay to talk about it in this house, and it's okay to be sad, and grown-ups get sad, and dads cry, and moms get their heart broken, and all that.
Yeah.
But I just know the data, the stats on abuse, the stats on all that stuff, and I'm not putting my kids with boyfriends or any of that kind of stuff until I've firmly vetted those dudes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know this man, and I don't
That's
I
right.
don't have any interest in introducing my kids anytime soon.
The way you said that is the right way to say it, because mom is going to say, this is my new husband. This is your new father-in-law. And your language was perfect, Katie. I don't know this man.
Yes.
He is a dude at a TJ Maxx. I don't know that guy.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And she might vet him. Doesn't matter. At some point, if she marries him, and it's going to be forever, your husband and y'all can take him to coffee and do an interview before he has access to your children.
Oh, I love that.
Like, I need to, like, hey, you're marrying my mom with arms crossed. Tell me about yourself. Right?
Okay.
He is guilty until proven innocent. Not really, but you know what I mean.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
And if he's a man of character and integrity, he enters that coffee, that lunch at Cracker Barrel with such grace and dignity and humility.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's a total prick and he's like, you don't talk to me that way, then it's all you need to know, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Can I just tell you, Sister Katie, I'm heartbroken for you. I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. We are too.
I know. Have y'all done a holiday yet? Have y'all done Christmas yet?
We have, yeah.
Y'all did a first Christmas without him?
Yeah, so we just hit the first year mark on October 4th.
Okay. My guess is last Thanksgiving, Christmas are somewhat watery, blurry.
Yes.
Yeah. This one's going to be real hard.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Nope. And so here's what I want you to do. I want you to head directly into it. What does that mean? Make him a plate for Thanksgiving. Make him a seat.
Okay.
And everybody go around the table and say one thing they miss about Granddad that they're grateful for.
Okay.
At Christmas, put a stocking on the wall. We're not going to go through the rest of our life pretending that this powerful, important man didn't play an amazing role in our life, and also that we have so much guilt that we didn't know, we didn't say the right thing, we wish we had. We're just going to head straight into it.
1,000%.
Okay? Because otherwise there's going to be an empty seat at that table. There's not going to be any seat at that table, and everyone's going to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
And secrets are what bury families in these moments.
Yeah. Yep. Secrets are what took my father-in-law.
Yeah, we're not doing secrets. Not at this house.
Yep.
We're going to have a seat for Granddad, and we're all going to say something we miss. And your kids are going to see Mommy and Daddy cry. But there'll be tears of gratitude at Thanksgiving at dinner.
Okay.
Okay? Is that cool?
I'll do that. 1,000%.
Can I revise something I just said?
Yes, sir.
I would probably not put a plate there for a 4-year-old. That's going to confuse that kid. He's too young.
Yeah.
I would go around the table and say something that you're grateful for.
Okay.
That you miss about Granddad.
Okay.
Okay. Don't put a table there because he's going to be waiting. Because, yeah, developmentally, that 4-year-old's going to be waiting for him to show up, and he won't show up. That'll be too weird for him. But I do think it's important to have a gratitude moment around the table during Thanksgiving and potentially have a moment at Christmas. Talk about Christmas. Talk about what Grandpa used to do before he got sick. He'd dress up like Santa and be silly and be goofy, or he would always bring candy, or you guys don't remember this, but Granddad used to. Tell those stories. Tell those stories. Tell those stories.